I started playing Roblox back in 2011, and one thing I was always kind of interested in was limited items. I just dreamed of getting a really expensive item because I saw them all over the catalog, but I was so poor I couldn't afford them. Now, out of all the limited items, there were two in particular that I held above all others, two that I just dreamed of owning. This was the Dominus Infernus and the Domino Crown. Now, the Domino Crown was especially notable for me because I remember joining this game here, The Hunger Games by OzzyPig, which used to be really popular. And I remember joining this one day and seeing a guy with a domino crown just standing there in the game. And ever since then, I always kind of had a fascination with the item. So then, towards the end of 2015, I decided that I would start trading. I started with just one item, the Winter Conjurer, which was just about 12,000 Robux value at the time. Now, from trading, I also started posting on the Let's Make a Deal forum, on the forums, which are sadly now defunct. Now, the Let's Make a Deal forum, I have a ton of good and bad memories on it, but that's a story for another day. Anyway, I posted on this forum and became pretty well known on it, and that accompanied much of my trading life up until late 2017 when Roblox sadly removed the forums. Anyway, despite how much I wanted the Domino Crown and the Dominus Infernus, even at the start of trading, I never thought I'd get one of these. That's just too expensive, right? I mean, at the time, the Domino Crown was one of the most expensive items on the Roblox website. And for that, at the time, when I first started trading, I set my end goal of just the item that I would try to get at the very end and quit trading. I set it to Azarath, Lord of the Void, one of my favorite items on Roblox. At the time, it was about 160,000 Robux, which seemed just like a ton at the time. But then one day, towards the beginning of 2016, I actually got the Lord of the Void. So instead, I decided that I would set a new goal, this time for a Dominus I owned way back in 2012, but then sadly traded for a very low deal. This was the Dominus Vespertilio, which at the time was valued about 200,000, 180,000 Robux or so. And of course, I ended up getting that eventually too. So with that, I finally had a real end goal in mind. This was the Dominus Rex, which at the time had just been released. This was about 2016 at the time, and Dominus Rex was released a year prior. At the time, it was valued about 280, 290,000 Robux, which was just about 90,000, 100,000 more than what Vesp was valued at. And again, at the time, this just seemed impossible. There's no way I would get Dominus Rex. But eventually, I actually did, about mid-2016. And when that happened, I'm like, well, I have to go further, don't I? Well, fast forward a couple of years up to July 25th, 2018, and you may notice something about the Domino Crown. So it took over a bit of 2 years, but I actually got myself a Domino Crown, which is something I never thought would even be possible. See, as of the past couple of weeks, the Domino Crown lowered a little bit due to basically an owner, which originally owned this Domino Crown. They basically found out that the Domino Crown was stolen, apparently, and then they went and traded it very, very low, just trying to get rid of it, not realizing that they had basically owned it for a year and that it was perfectly safe or something like that. So that caused the Domino Crown to lower a little bit. It should be about 4.1 million value right now, but it's currently 3.6 million value. So it lowered a little bit, which actually let me feel comfortable to get it. And at the time, I only had 3.4 million value. So I ended up getting a pretty good deal for this. I paid 3.4 million for a 3.6 million item that should really be about 4.1 million, and only lowered because of basically a dumb owner who didn't decide to email Roblox about their hacked item and so on. But nevertheless, that let me get an item that I've always wanted for pretty cheap, to say the least. And to say I had enough for it would be a bit too much, as if you check my recent average price here, I literally had to give every single item in my inventory, minus these little alligators here on the screen now, which I still have to give to the guy. So all in all, my best items were about 3 million value, but I had 400,000 in smalls. In other words, just tinier items that I had to give out. And the total number of completed chains ended up being all the ones you see on screen now. Yeah, seriously, all of these. It took a little bit, but we eventually finished, if you can see here. So I am really glad for this guy and that he actually let me do this and actually took my offer. Apparently he liked smaller items so he could sell them and make Robux. So I guess it was a perfect match. Anyway, at base, I ended up giving these items here, the Dominus Rex, the Dominus Mesor, the Black Valk, the Dominus Auris, and then the Dominus Vesp. So yeah, 4 Dominuses. Might not seem like that good of a deal, but all in all, those 4 Dominuses and the Black Valk are about 3 million value currently total. And to be honest, these Dominuses have been raising a ton. They've been selling a lot, and their recent average price has been raising a lot. So honestly, if I was in it for profit, I would not have done this trade, would not have done this deal. But Domino Crown has just always been at the tip top, and I've sort of not been trading as much, sort of been pulling apart. So I decided, hey, Domino Crown just lowered a little bit. It's at an excellent price. It'll probably be very good in the long run, probably will raise back up. So, hey, why don't I go ahead and just snag the item I've always wanted here for pretty cheap? As said, I'm not going to be really trading anymore for bigger items, so what's the point? There's no point in holding on to those items. I'll just go ahead and get my dream item. And sure enough, I did. So again, Yek here was the guy who was gracious enough to actually do this deal with me. As said, the major items were the major part of the deal, but I still had a ton of items making up hundreds of thousands of Robux. So it was really nice that he would actually let me do this. And I talked to him while doing this, and he seemed like a really, really nice guy. So with that, he actually asked me to shout out his YouTube channel, which, seeing how he would actually let me do this deal and get my dream item, I think I will. So this is his YouTube channel here, Derpster. I'll post a link to it in the description. But as you can see, he has a lot of very, very cool just trading related videos and stuff. So if you like that kind of stuff, go ahead and check out their channel in the description below. Very nice guy. So best of luck to you, Yak. I'm basically going to quit trading, but he basically told me how he's gone and profited like 1 million Robux off of the Domino Crown and a horde of Superfly caps. So it seems like he's not stopping trading anytime soon. So with that, I wish him the best of luck. I hope to come back and see that you suddenly have like a Dominus Imperius or just 10 million Robux limited value or something like that. That would be kind of cute. So yeah, happy to give my items to this guy, even if it probably wasn't a good profiting decision, because again, he is really nice, and I hope to actually help him profit. Anyway, back to the Domino Crown. I don't know, it's just super nice to own such an iconic Roblox item. I mean, out of all the Roblox items that are fairly well known, you have like Dominuses and Sparkle Time Fedoras and stuff, but out of all of them, I'd honestly say the original Domino Crown is probably the most iconic item on Roblox. I don't know what you guys think, but I've always thought of the Domino Crown just being at the tippity top. I mean, sure, Dominuses are cool, but I can tell you now, I've owned this thing for basically a day, and joining Roblox games, I've already gotten a lot more attention than I did even wearing a Dominus. So very, very cool on that front, I guess, showing off. And I don't know what more to say. I just thought this would be kind of cool to show you guys and just tell you about my story and how I started trading and what I actually ended up with. Now, I don't mean to sound braggy or anything by making a video like this. I kind of contemplated actually making a video on this in the first place, which is why I don't make videos on every single trade I do. But I just thought this Domino Crown is so iconic and it's just been on my eyes for so long that, I mean, to be honest, when I started trading, or when I first played Roblox back about, like 8-9 years ago, I completely did not think that I would ever have a Domino Crown on my Roblox character. No, there was no doubt about it. Yet, here I am today, somehow. So I guess what I'm trying to say, and the main point of this, and just what I want to end the video on, is that if you ever think you can't do something, keep on trying, and it may eventually pay off. As said, when I first started playing Roblox, 8 years ago at this point, I never thought I'd actually have the Domino Crown on my Roblox character. That was completely out of the question. I looked at this and admired it. I never thought it would be possible. And look, there's a guy over there. Let's wave at him. But anyhow, Just keep on going and keep on trying, and you may actually succeed. Maybe you want a domino crown. Keep trading, know what you're doing, and it may actually happen, because certainly it happened with me, and I've made so many poor business decisions in Roblox trading that I thought this would never happen. No chance of it. And shout out to this guy who decided to join my game, Meet Pro. Go say hi to him.